Thank you, and thank you for the AAUW for hosting this forum. Certainly this is the biggest job interview that I've ever done, but it's glad to see a packed house here. It has been one of the greatest privileges and honors of my life to serve as your state representative for the past 8 years. And I have done my very best to vote in the best interest of the majority of the constituents. All 64,553, I believe, was the actual number. That's a lot of diversity. That's a lot of stakeholders, so that's a lot of opinions, a lot of ideas. But I've tried my best to bring everyone to the table, see what their issues are, and represent them in Harrisburg. I've served on the Education Committee the last 8 years. Education has truly been one of my passions. I served on the school board for 5 years and was, as you heard, on the library board for 6 years. So it's certainly something that I think even in our rural areas we have enough issues that access to a quality education should not be one of them. Also, our rural schools are so dependent on state funding. So any little tweaking of the numbers in Harrisburg can have serious ripple effects. And that's what we've seen with our school districts in the last few years. I also serve on the Ag Committee. Agriculture is our largest industry, and certainly a lot of things come from not just our dairy farms and crop farms, but ag science and research. With Penn State right up the road, the district borders State College now. It's also one of the top 3 employers in the district. So those are big issues. I serve on the Tourism Committee. Tourism is our 2nd largest industry in the state as well as in the district, as you know, with some of the key sites that we have and the impact that has on our local economy, certainly. For instance, when the Creation Festival doesn't happen because it's rained out, that's well over $1 million that impacts our local grocery stores and gas stations and convenience stores and what have you. So those are important things. I've tried to be a good ambassador for the 81st District, and knowing full well that I am the face of the 81st District when I am in Harrisburg. And I hope to explain what I've done throughout this as we answer questions. You heard some of my endorsements. I'm not your average politician. It's not every day that you get endorsed by some of the most conservative and most liberal organizations out there. That's actually quite hard to do. I was even endorsed by the State Store Union, and their only issue that I know of was fighting against privatization. So when they endorsed me here earlier in the fall, I thought, wow, I'm good. You know, and then I started hearing from some of the liquor store employees here locally, and I don't think they thought too kindly of that. But I don't believe that we should be in the liquor business in this state. Some of the other endorsements, just from the NRA to the realtors. The number one issue that the realtors have is doing away with property taxes. And one of the biggest things that PSEA has fought against is making sure that we keep property taxes. But there again, I managed to get endorsed by both, because my door is always open. And I may not be with them 100% of the time. I may not even be with them 50 or 60% of the time. But they know that I'm willing to listen, and they have my vote when it's good for the 81st District. And I stand by my record of the past 8 years. There isn't any votes that I would go back and change. So certainly that's where we are on there. As I said, education's been one of my passions. My grandfather told me at an early age, well, when I was leaving for college, he said, get a good education. It's the one thing man can't take from you. And I took that to heart. Your ability to, you may lose your job, but if you have the skills and the talents and the education background, you can rebuild. And so when I'm out there speaking to students in school, I want them to find their passion. Hopefully it doesn't have a dollar sign attached to it, or they'll never find happiness. But I've truly been happy representing you the last 8 years. And it's not an easy job. It's not all parades. You don't get to choose your audience. It's a fight. It's a battle. And I think you've seen in your mailboxes over the years some of the special interests that I've taken to task, certainly, and they have been less appreciative, but I've done that for you. So, see, my time is up, so I will stop.